Dear students, viewers, and the subscribers, welcome to the IAS Mentor. This would be our lecture number 110 in the series Indian Polity. We are almost coming to the end of the series. Probably another 10 to 15 lectures. We'll try to complete this particular series, which is going on for almost for the last 4 months. So in today's class, we are going to take up a topic which is a subpart of the topic constitutional bodies. We've already seen a few constitutional bodies. We have seen the Election Commission of India. We have seen the Comptroller and Auditor General. In the last class, we have seen the Public Service Commission. So today we are going to study a similar type of constitutional bodies performing a similar function. So we are going to touch upon three important constitutional bodies, that is the National Commission for Scheduled Caste, the National Commission for Scheduled Tribe, and the National Commission for the Backward Classes. The National Commission for Backward Classes is something that was added recently by the 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act, or in other words, it was given the constitutional status very recently. So as we'll proceed in this particular lecture, we'll try to understand as to what is a constitutional mandate of these bodies and what are the powers that is entrusted upon these bodies to perform their constitutional mandate. Is there any issues that is associated with these bodies? So that is basically what we are going to understand in this particular lecture. And before we start, we also try to understand the genesis of these commissions. What was there initially in the constitution and what led to a separate commission for these particular bodies. We'll try to understand all those things. As I already said, that this series is going to be an extremely useful series for the students preparing for the UPSC examination as well as for the other competitive examination, and I'm sure that it is going to be useful to lakhs and lakhs of students in the coming year. All right, but to really benefit out of this particular series, if you are starting for the preparation, I would suggest you to watch the series in a chronological order, right from the very first lecture. And if you do it in a chronological order, it will be extremely useful. Students who are already prepared, they can selectively watch it, but for someone who's beginning, it is better that you do watch all the lectures chronologically. All right, so with that, we'll just proceed to the topic, that is the National Commission for Scheduled Caste, National Commission for Scheduled Tribe, and the National Commission for the Backward Classes. Now, what is a constitutional provision related to these articles? If you see the constitutional provision, today the National Commission for Scheduled Caste is established under Article 338. The National Commission for the Scheduled Tribe is established under Article 338A, and the National Commission for Backward Classes was established by virtue of Article 338B of the Constitution. Now, before we understand the powers and of course the functions that is performed by these bodies, let us try to understand about the genesis of this particular bodies. Now, if you look into the original constitution, that is the constitution that came into force on 26 January 1958, there was only one article, Article 338. There was no Article 338A and Article 338B. And this Article 338 that provides for a special officer. In fact, it was a single member body, a special officer, and this special officer is to take care of the scheduled caste, the scheduled tribe, the backward classes, and also that of the Anglo-Indians. So his responsibility is to see whether the rights that is guaranteed to the scheduled caste under the constitution, the scheduled tribes under the constitution, the backward classes under the constitution, and also apart from that, the Anglo-Indians, whether their rights are protected by the constitution or not, whatever is guaranteed in the constitution, whether they actually exercise these rights or not. So to that extent, the special officer will look after all those things. He will send a report to the president. So that was the function, or that was the idea of this Article 338. But however, over a period of time, the government realized that the function could be effectively performed if it is a multi-member body and not if it is a single member commission or a single officer. So in order to make it a multi-member body, an amendment was brought into the constitution that happened by the 65th Constitutional Amendment Act in 1990. In fact, it was the 65th Constitutional Amendment Act in 1990 that made this particular commission a multi-member body. The commission became a multi-member body, and it established a body which is called as a National Commission for Scheduled Caste. So when the single member single member officer has gone away, and when it became a multi-member body by the 65th Constitutional Amendment Act, they brought in what is called as a National Commission for Scheduled Caste. This National Commission for Scheduled Caste is to take care of the scheduled caste, the scheduled tribes, the Anglo-Indians. So all these people has to be taken care by the National Commission for Scheduled Caste, especially in protecting their constitutional rights and also looking into the complaints related to the violation of these rights. These were the primary function of this particular commission. But however, sooner there was a demand on the lines of the National Commission for Scheduled Caste. There should be a separate commission for the scheduled tribes as well. Now, why for both the people, that is the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, why there is a need for a particular, why there is not a separate commission, but there is only one commission, and hence the government thought, let us create a separate commission for the scheduled tribes. So, which will specifically look into the interest of the scheduled tribe. And to that extent, the constitution was amended by the 89th Constitutional Amendment Act in 2003. And they brought in what is called as the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. The National Commission for Scheduled Tribes was also brought in. So the NCSC, the National Commission for Scheduled Caste, then therefore was relieved of looking into the constitutional rights and their violations of the scheduled tribe. So the scheduled tribe will take care of only the scheduled tribe. The NCSC is now on, is only to take care of the scheduled caste as well as the Anglo-Indians. On a similar line, recently an amendment was brought in by the 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 2018. They have given a constitutional status to the backward classes also, National Commission for Backward Classes. So therefore, today there are three different commissions which is given a constitutional status. The Backward Classes Commission is to look into the protection of rights of the backward community. The National Commission for Scheduled Tribes is to look into the constitutional rights and protection of the scheduled tribes. And the National Commission for Scheduled Caste is to look into the protection of the rights of the scheduled caste population, including the Anglo-Indians. So that is what is the function that they are supposed to perform. And to carry out their duties effectively, each and every commission has got a composition, and their composition is almost same in all the cases. It consists of a chairman, a chairperson. Every commission will have a chairperson, a vice chairperson, and 3 other members. And all these members, so therefore there are 5 people. Composition is 1 chairman, 1 vice chairman, and 3 members. All these members in all the 3 commissions, they are all appointed by the President of India. And what will be the term of these members? So normally the term of these members is for a period of 3 years, subject to a maximum term of 2 times. That is, maximum term is 2 times, means that 2 terms they can be appointed as the members of this particular commission. So this is basically what is the composition of this commission, and it is a mandate under the constitution that these commissions, be it National Commission for Scheduled Caste, be it National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, and the National Commission for Backward Classes, they all submit the report as to what they have done in a given year to the President. And the President will in turn submit this report to the Parliament. So therefore the Parliament can study and probably they can question the government on this particular regard. So this is the basic general idea with regard to the National Commission for Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe, and the Backward Classes. So try to remember the amendment based on which they were inserted. In fact, to be very specific, the 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act inserted Article 338B, which provided for the constitutional status to the National Commission for Backward Classes. So sometimes question can come with regard to the National Commission for Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe, and the Backward Classes, which of the 3 commissions are not a constitutional body. So all the 3 commissions are today a constitutional body. Why it is important? Before the 102nd Constitutional Amendment and Article 338B, even then before, the National Commission for Backward Classes existed. But the National Commission for Backward Classes at that point of time was a statutory body. It was established by the National Commission for Backward Classes Act. What was a statutory body earlier now has become a constitutional body. So therefore it is very important you should understand what is the status of the National Commission for Backward Classes. Now they are all established with a specific purpose. They are all established with certain specific functions that they have to perform. So let us now try to understand as to what are the functions that these commissions are supposed to play. The major objective with which these commissions are established is that there should be a multi-member body which will overview if there are violation of rights of these categories of people. So look into the categories of people: scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and backward classes. Now these are all the people who are historically exploited, and these are all the people who have struggled and who have gone through a lot of social injustice in our country. So therefore, it should not continue to exist even after the commencement of the constitution. And to oversee that, the Constituent Assembly thought that there is a need for a special officer, which was later made a multi-member body and it became a commission. So the primary function of all these commissions is to look into whether the respective categories of people, whether they are exercising and enjoying the rights that is given to them under the constitution. Say for example, untouchability is a fundamental right under the constitution. So therefore, the commission might see that whether somebody is subjected to, from these categories of people, whether they are subjected to the practice of untouchability. And apart from that, we have laws, not only the constitutional rights, we have laws like the Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe Atrocities Act. We have Civil Rights Act. So therefore, a number of rights is entrusted upon the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes in our country. And do they exercise all these rights, whatever is guaranteed in the constitution and also by the ordinary laws of the land? And in case if there are any violation of these rights, the first and primary function of these commissions is to look into and to inquire or to investigate into the violation of these rights. Now, they have the power to take up the investigation of these matters. So sometimes they can take up matters suo motu also, that is on their own based on the newspaper reports, and they can start investigating in these matters. But however, try to understand, today the National Commission for Scheduled Caste will do it only for the scheduled caste. The National Commission for Scheduled Tribe will do it only for the scheduled tribes, and the backward classes will do it for only the backward classes. In addition to the scheduled caste, the NCBC also have a jurisdiction over the Anglo-Indians as well. But however, they will do it only for the respective categories of people, because there are separate commission for different categories of people. So therefore, the first function that they will do is they will inquire into the violation of rights of these people. Not only they will inquire into violation of these rights, after they have completed the inquiry, they will also make recommendations to the government of India as to what kind of measures needs to be taken. But however, whatever they suggest is merely a recommendation. It does not have any binding effect upon the government. In fact, their nature of function is majorly recommendatory nature, is one of the biggest criticism against the functioning of these bodies, which we'll subsequently discuss. Now, apart from inquiring and making recommendations, they can also design policies. They can carry out research and they can design policies for the welfare of the respective categories of people, which also they will give it to the government. And apart from that, they will also make planning for the socio-economic development of the categories of people. And most importantly, they will also create awareness about their rights to the respective categories of people. That means they will carry out a lot of awareness drives as well. So these are all some of the important functions that is done by all these commissions. So primarily they take investigation and they make recommendations for the remedial measures in case the rights are violated. They undertake research, they do planning with regard to socio-economic development of these categories of people. And apart from that, they also carry out what is called as awareness drives, so that the people of the respective category have awareness about these rights. So therefore, they can approach these commissions whenever their rights are violated. So these are all the major functions that is performed by the National Commission for Scheduled Caste towards the scheduled caste category people, the National Commission for Scheduled Tribe towards the scheduled tribe population, and the National Commission for Backward Classes towards the backward class people. But however, for these commissions to perform these duties effectively, they need to have certain powers. Unless and until they have these powers, they will not be able to perform these duties effectively. So what are the powers that they have got under the Constitution of India? So these powers are conferred upon them under the Constitution of India. So what is the first power that they got? Summoning and enforcing the attendance of the respective members. Suppose if they want to carry out investigation in a particular matter, and to carry out the investigation, they may call upon someone, and they may call upon certain records, they may call upon someone to give witnesses. So therefore, they have to be summoned first in the first place. So the commission has got all the powers of a civil court to summon anyone and to appear in front of them so that they can carry out their inquiry. Okay, so this is the first power. And apart from that, the commission also has a power to, the commission has a power not only to summon the people, but also They may ask for anybody to produce certain records in front of them, requiring the discovery and the production of documents and records which will help them in their inquiry process. Receiving evidences on affidavit. So on affidavit, the evidences can be received. So therefore, it helps in their inquiry process. And it can also request the public records from courts or any office. So which may also help them in their inquiry process. So whatever the record that is maintained by the courts or by any public departments, they can also be called upon by the commissions. And apart from that, any other matter as the president may determine. So this is also that is part of their powers. So now try to understand majorly what are the powers. They have all the powers of a civil court that help them in making the inquiry, that help them in summoning someone, that helps them in taking evidences, that helps them in looking into the public records. So majorly these things will help them in investigating a matter and arriving at a conclusion. Therefore, they can make the recommendation to the government of India. So these are the major functions that is performed by these commissions, but all these commissions do suffer from certain drawbacks. So what are the drawbacks of these commission? Be it National Commission for Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe or the other backward caste. One of the primary drawback of these commission is that these commissions are majorly recommendatory in nature. Not only just they are recommendatory in nature, today there is also another drawback that is associated with these commissions. What is the other drawback? Is that these commissions are not given sufficient finances by the government. Because these commissions have to make an inquiry, and to make the inquiry, they may need finances. They may have to move from different places. So lot of enough budgetary allocation is not given to these commissions. And one of the most important allegation against, sorry, not the allegation, the criticism, the way that these commissions function is that these commissions do not have any investigative authority. That means they do not have, in other words, they do not have any investigation team on their own. It is not about the authority, but they do not have enough investigation team on their own on whom they are primarily dependent on the investigation. They are primarily dependent on the investigation on the government agencies. So without the help of the government agencies, they will be handicapped to carry out the investigation and all those things. And apart from that, another important criticism that is related to these is that today the appointments to these commissions, that is the chairman, the vice chairman and the members, they are largely politicized. Rather than appointing people on merit, rather than appointing people who have done social services in these areas, most of the times these appointments are politicized. Any political member who is not getting a ministerial berth is appointed to these commissions. So that is again a biggest drawback, because the people who are occupying these positions, they should have a very responsible role. They have to take care of the interest of the respective categories of people. But many often it is politicized, the appointment. So therefore that is also criticized by the experts. So once these things are taken care, probably these commissions can play a wonderful role. And there are also certain areas of recommendations that the government, if at all they are not accepting these recommendations, they have to provide it in writing as to why they have not accepted these recommendations. So therefore that can enforce an element of accountability upon the government. So all these things are very, very important, both for your prelims as well as your mains examination. So now we are coming to the end of the discussion, but not without discussing this particular question. And I would expect most of the students to put their answers in the comment box, because only your comments are going to motivate me to make the further videos. So come to this particular question. Which of the following is not a constitutional body? Which of the following is not a constitutional body? National Commission for Scheduled Caste, National Commission for Scheduled Tribe, National Commission for Backward Classes, none of the above. So please put your answers in the comment box. So with that, we are coming to the conclusion of the topic constitutional bodies. From the next class, I'll start up another topic, which is basically what is called as the statutory bodies. But yes, before going to the statutory bodies, I'll do a practice question for the constitutional bodies, and then I'll go to the statutory bodies. If you have any questions related to this particular lecture or the entire series or the examination, please do reach out to me. You can think me as your friend, guide or a mentor who can help you in clearing this examination, who has almost 15 years of experience, not just in teaching but as a student as well. I've cleared this examination 3 times and I have done certain thing consistently which has helped me to clear this examination, which I can share it with the students who are preparing for the examination. If you like this video, please share it with your friends. Thank you very much and all the very best.